Good morning, everyone. Is it projecting? Good morning. Welcome. We are so glad to have you on. We are so glad to have you on today. As par for the course in these unusual times, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty because while we're here this morning, we do have some people that are attending virtually. So just give us a few more minutes because we want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to experience all this Black girl magic we're about to experience this morning. I am very excited, so it will be with you very, very shortly. Thank you. We have refreshments, water, juice in the back. If anyone needs to use the restroom, the women's room, the ladies' room is over there to your right, and the men's room is here to the left. There are several things in your bag. If you have not noticed, there is a bag on the back of your seat. If you take the bag out, there are several things in there for you to review, some things from our city and other things for you to take away with you. You'll notice on your agenda that we are doing a vision board break at 10:30. So there are magazines on the table. So if you want to start kind of skimming through those to see exactly what you want to put on your vision boards, that can be something we can do while we are getting connected.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Matisse, and I co-chair this event with Ms. Frankie Keeling. I would just like to say that we appreciate you being here with us this morning. We know that there were a million different things that you could have been doing. The Valdosta-Lowndes Metropolitan section of the National Council of Negro Women present the 7th annual S.E.L.F.I.E conference. For those that are unaware of what S.E.L.F.I.E stands for, be prepared to hear about success, education, leadership, finances, innovation, and empowerment today. On the panel today, we have 6 dynamic speakers, all of whom are successful in their own field of study. As a reminder, the conference is meant to be interactive, so please ask questions, gain knowledge, insight, and anything else that you're inquisitive about. There are no right or wrong questions, so let's engage and have fun. I pray everyone leaves today better than they came, and that each and every one of you walks away with I can do it spirit. Just as some other housekeeping, the ladies' room is on the right side. The men's room is on the left side. And without further ado, I will turn it over to Dr. LaShonda Bess.
Good morning, everyone. We ask you to bow your heads as we go into prayer. Father God, we thank you for this day, God. We thank you for all your many blessings that you stored upon us, God. We just thank you, God, for being the God that you are in our lives. God, we thank you for this event, God, those that came together to bring this to fruition. God, we just ask that you bless each and every one that's here. God, we ask you to forgive us, God, for anything that we said or done that is not pleasing unto you. God, we ask you to touch each and every one heart here, that what they receive from each of these speakers, God, they will take it out and do it in the presence of your name, God. God, we ask that you protect these young people, Lord, and help them, Lord, to be successful, that they can give you all the praise and all the glory, God, because you are worthy. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, I'm going to jump right into it. We are so excited of the good job and the great work that the chair and co-chair have done, and that is Miss Nicole and Miss Frankie in putting this event together. You will notice as we go through the day and as you listen to the bios of all of our great panelists today that are sitting right here in the middle, that they all have some connection to Valdosta. So the chair and co-chair went out of their way to kind of create a line and a connection, either showing that these are people that are from our community, working in our community, or spent some time right here in Valdosta. Now, you are in for what I consider an extraordinary treat. And don't mind my excitement. I'm just typically excited about Black Girl Magic everywhere I go. If it's happening, I'm excited about it. I'm going to push it. I'm going to pump it up, whatever it is, because what we have is this amazing opportunity. These young women sitting here in the middle of the room at the round tables. The round tables are where business happens and where magic happens. So they are here. You have an opportunity that some of us that are older in the room didn't always get, and that is to say, hey, what did you do? How did you do it? I want to do it. Show me how I can do it. Pump me up so I can feel like I can do it. So that's what we're going to do here today. Each one of them, this is very interactive. You can ask any question you want. And let me be very clear. There is no question too small, because I guarantee you if the question popped in your head, there's at least 3 to 5 other people that got the same question. We ain't here to judge. We're here to get the information. We're here to feel good. And we're here for those that are here that are in that 15 to 25. We're here to help you get to wherever you want to go. And that's anywhere, because that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to read the bios very quickly, and then we are going to start off with some questions. Again, you can ask questions. Our panelists today have free reign So they will answer and be truthful and transparent with you. So first, you'll see we have Kirsten Battles. Dr. Kirsten Battles, MD, is an alumna of Valdosta High School, where she graduated salutatorian in 2008. She served here as the captain of the basketball cheerleading squad. And Dr. Battles attended the University of Georgia, where she earned a bachelor's degree in exercise and sports science kinesiology. Dr. Battles attended medical school and residency at Wake Forest School of Medicine, specializing in anesthesiology. She is now a board-certified anesthesiologist practicing at Northside Hospital in Atlanta. Dr. Battles, wave your hand. Our next panelist is Dr. Amber Berry. Dr. Amber Berry is a pediatrician and sports medicine specialist who resides in Atlanta. She is a Valdosta native who attended the University of Georgia for college, the University of South Florida for graduate school, and the Medical College of Georgia for medical school. She completed her pediatric residency training at Baylor College of Medicine, Texas Children's Hospital in Houston, Texas, and is currently finishing up her fellowship training in sports medicine with Northside Hospital in Atlanta. After training, she'll begin practicing as a full-time sports medicine physician. Dr. Amber Berry? Ashanti Edwards resides in Atlanta, Georgia. Ashanti went to Valdosta State University for 2 years for pre-engineering, then later transferred to Kennesaw State University in Marietta, Georgia, where she earned her Bachelor's of Science in Mechanical Engineering in May of 2017. She is currently employed at Integral, a global provider of material handling solutions here in Hiram, Georgia. We have Qianna Harrell. Qianna Harrell is a graduate of Valdosta High School. She is the owner of Braids, Beads, and Beauty Salon and Suites since 2016. Ms. Harrell is the mother of 4 amazing boys and is an entrepreneur right here in Valdosta. Ms. Harrell. Then we have Ms. Knox, who is joining us via Zoom. Ms. Knox graduated cum laude from the University of Georgia and received her BBA in Management Information Systems. She completed her internship at the NASA Goddard Space and Flight Center in Washington, D.C. She began her career in the Atlanta office of Ernst & Young, a Big Four accounting firm. After serving at Ernst & Young clients for 4.5 years, she transitioned to mid-sized accounting firm Hancock, Askew & Company in 2016. Lauren is an information technology risk assurance and advisory manager and leads a team of 11 staff and seniors specializing in internal audit clients and SOC reporting. She spends her time recruiting for the firm and mentoring youth in the Atlanta area. That's Ms. Knox on the screen there with us. Then we have Ms. Aerica Sauls, is a native of Valdosta, Georgia, who graduated from Valdosta High in 2005. Aerica earned a Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology from Georgia Southern University in 2009. Aerica has been an officer with the Atlanta Police Department since 2013. She is currently a member of the department's Tactical Crime Analysis Unit. This is Ms. Sauls sitting right here. So we are going to jump right in. I've read each of your bios. Now, this is an opportunity because it's a bio. It's a stagnant piece of information about you. Any one of you, do you want to share with our audience today? Tell us something about what you do in each of your areas. Now, I know y'all names, so don't nobody say anything. I can. Okay. You want me to do the mic?
Hello, everybody. I'm Kirsten Battles. As mentioned, I'm an anesthesiologist at Northside Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia. Can you help me? All right. So a lot of people have no idea what an anesthesiologist is. I will start by saying that it's a physician. So I did attend medical school. I think that's the most common question that I get is an anesthesiologist a nurse? Is an anesthesiologist a PA? Or are they physicians? So the anesthesiologist is actually the physician in charge of the team who takes care of you while you're having surgery. Everyone thinks of the surgeon as being the primary physician. And yes, they are. They are the people who bring the patients to the hospital for me. However, the surgeon's going to focus on doing your surgery, whatever surgery you're having. And then you're going to have the anesthesiologist in my team who focuses on keeping you alive and keeping you safe. So arguably way more important than the surgeon. Without us. So we start off putting you to sleep, but most importantly, waking you up, managing your heart, managing your lungs, everything that has to do with your brain, seriously keeping you alive and keeping you well during surgery, and making sure you wake up at the end safely to return to your families.
Lauren, do you want to go ahead? Sure, no problem. Would you share? I read your bio, but can you share with us what you do in your particular area? Did you hear me? Okay, so why don't we have Shondra? You go ahead and tell us about what crime is.
Hi guys. I'm a mechanical engineer. That's one of the engineering fields that's the most diverse. Mainly I work with machines, mechanical components. Currently right now I work on building conveyors for Amazon, Tesla. Yeah. I mainly do design work on the computer, drafting, 3D model, CADing, and then once that happens, we send the components out to the workshop, and it gets made, and then we put it all together and run tests. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's it. Okay. Okay. My name is Aerica. I am currently a police officer for the City of Atlanta Police Department. And what I do is I handle all of the crimes that come into the city. I do statistics for the city. So any crime that happens in the city comes across my desk. I mainly focus on aggravated assaults, but basically I have to tell the city where we have the most crime, where we're seeing trends at, how we can focus more to kind of stop these crimes from happening. I do have an IT degree. That's where my degree comes in at, because you have to do all this data and statistics to get all these numbers together and present them to our chiefs and stuff like that and to the mayor. But yeah, that's what I do.
Hi, y'all. All right, so I'm Amber. I am a pediatrician, but also a current fellow in sports medicine. And so to explain kind of the process of medicine, you go to medical school for 4 years, and then once you finish medical school, you decide on your specialty and what you want to do, kind of the broad, in a broad sense. And so I did pediatrics as a 3-year residency. But then if you want to subspecialize within your specialty, you do a fellowship. And so I'm doing a sports medicine fellowship, which is 1 year, and I'm almost done, thankfully. And so with my fellowship, I serve as a non-operative orthopedic. And so I take care of musculoskeletal injuries, athletes of all ages, but I prefer children, so kids from when you first start, like pee-wee, whatever sports, all the way up into college. But I also take care of older adults who are active and might have a little arthritis or something like that. And so I'm trained to do injections. I'm trained to utilize ultrasound. I'm also the team physician for a high school up in Atlanta, Walton High School, and then I also cover Georgia State athletics. We cover football, basketball, and also soccer. And so that's kind of what I do on a day-to-day.
Hello, I am Qianna. As she said, I am a entrepreneur. I own Braids, Bees, and Beauty hair salon. We have about 8 stylists now in the salon who all do different things. I personally do braids, but we have stylists there that specialize in different things. We try to keep make it a one-stop, shop. We have someone for natural hair. We have our braids or twists, sew-ins. We keep up with the times. You're doing the lace fronts now. We have someone who does that. Not as many big words as they got going on. It's a lot more easy to understand. You come get your hair done. We got somebody there for you. I'm gonna keep it short now so we can keep it moving. But I'm ready to dig all in today. I'm ready to tell y'all from the beginning to now. I got a story. But I'm going to let them go ahead, and we'll get into that.
Thank you so much. These women are busy. So we really, I'm glad Qianna that was a great segue for us, because we really want to get to the real of what this is like and encourage you that despite whatever, we can get to that point. So we're going to start out with a very easy question. Any one of the panelists, including Lauren, just wave your hand if you want to say something. At the end of the day, we know that no success comes without challenges. What are some of the challenges and the tools you use to overcome those challenges as successful young women?
Okay. I would say the biggest challenge I had to overcome starting college was time management. Being that, you always had your parents there to wake you up in the morning to get to school on time and to make sure you do your work. That doesn't happen. The coursework I had was very difficult, so I found a way to find a study group and also visit a lot of the office hours. And I could tell you, probably 3 of those classes, if I did not have a close relationship with my teacher, I wouldn't have passed. So definitely building a relationship with your teacher and showing that if you try, they're more than likely, let you pass.
All right, so I think with medicine, one of the biggest, sacrifices and also challenges is time. It's a long road. You do 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of medical school, at least 3 years of training within your specialty, and then if you decide to subspecialize, you can do an additional 1 to 3 to sometimes more years before you start working. So I haven't even started working yet. And it's a long road in terms of the time commitment. And so I think it's important for me to find that balance between your working and your training, yes, but you also still need to, your life doesn't go on pause for that. You have to still make time to do the things that bring you joy and that keep you grounded. And so for me, that was really important. And so still making time to come visit family or go see my friends, they come visit me. And still realizing it's a path, but you'll get there eventually. And don't look at other people who have already gotten there. You'll get there eventually.
Anyone else want to answer that question?
I just want to piggyback off what she said. Looking at other people and how far they've come, and maybe you haven't gotten there yet, or yours is taking longer. I would say my biggest thing is staying mentally stable. for me, it's more mental than anything. When in having a business, it looks really pretty on the outside. It's like, oh, she does this, and she's got a hair salon, and it's pretty in there, and it's pink, and they're smiling in there, but the day-to-day of being mentally able to go, and deal with every client is different, and you may come in and you're ready to go. You're having a great day. Your client might have just had a horrible morning, and you can feel that energy. Working with other stylists, we're all women, and we know how we are. We know how women are. There's different personalities. So just mentally knowing, okay, she may not be talking today. Maybe she had, something going on today. Let's not take it personal. Just keep it positive. Keep it positive.
I also think one of the biggest challenges in any career, especially starting off, is the feeling that everyone around you is more qualified than you. And I think that first starting at the University of Georgia, you meet people who went to these private schools, and their families have all this money, and they did this tutoring and these prep courses and all this craziness. And I'm like, well, I went to Valdosta High. It was great, and I had a great time. And then the same thing in medical school. I went to Wake Forest in North Carolina, which is a private medical school. People went to Brown, Yale, Princeton, and you immediately have this feeling that, oh, my goodness, like, is that what it takes to get here? I went to University of Georgia. It was a public school. I had a great time, again. And then in residency, eventually I kind of you kind of just own it. And I think the term for it is more of the imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not supposed to be there. You're somewhere you're not qualified for. And I definitely encourage everyone to always remember wherever you are, you're supposed to be there. And whatever you work for, you can do. And so I just had to remind myself, it didn't matter where I came from, what I did, what schools I went to, I'm here. And like I was just talking to Qianna earlier, I'm here, I'm going to do it now. I'm here, I made it, whatever, we're going to do it. It doesn't matter. We're here, there's a schedule, there's an agenda, we're going to make it happen. And so I think that was one of the biggest challenges that I felt like overcoming at each stage. The first few months to a year is I belong here. I'm just as smart, if not smarter. I'm just as great, probably greater than everyone in here. And I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to be successful. And that's what happened.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, so one of my biggest challenges was fear. I am a very comfortable, complacent person. I don't like to do anything different. I like my environment to stay the same. I don't like change. So coming from Valdosta is such a small town. We're not that small, but we're small. Everybody knows each other. Everybody knew who my family was. And then going to college, I had to force myself to go to a college that my family can't easily get to me without me saying, or without somebody telling me you're coming. Because I knew if I stayed home or I stayed closer, I wasn't going to do anything different. I wasn't going to change anything. I was going to always come back home every weekend and be right up under my mama and my grandma every day. So after that, I graduated. I graduated in 4 years. Fear still kicked in again because you graduate college and you think, I'm just going to get this job and we're just going to start and everything works out fine. And it didn't work like that for me. I had a job, but it wasn't what I wanted. And it wasn't that I wasn't qualified. It's just where the times were at that moment. I was competing for jobs with people who were laid off but had 30 plus years experience. So I had to segue. And that was a fear. That was a challenge because it was like, oh, what am I going to do? So I became a police officer. That was a huge thing to get over because nobody just sits there and says, I want to be a police. I didn't say I want to be a police officer. So I did it. I had to overcome that fear of, okay, I need a job that's going to pay some bills, and I don't mind helping people, so let me do that. But being a police officer has its own challenges every day. I'm not on the streets anymore, but when I was when we had a lot of protesting. A lot of things happen. I've seen a lot of things, but I can't go into my job every day showing that I'm scared. And that's something that, like I said, it's a fear that you have to constantly tell yourself you can do it. You know what your job is. You know how to get it done. Just get it done and, we'll worry about everything afterwards. But you got to make it home safely, and you got to do what you got to do. So I would say that fear is a big thing that I don't think a lot of people talk about. We're all scared of something. But once you put yourself out there, just tell yourself you can do it. You can get it done, whether it be going to a different school, getting out of your comfort zone. I just believe that, everybody can do it. So if you're scared to do anything, I mean, we all did it. So, so can you. So, yeah.
So I have an interesting question. How many of you are first in your family to do the stuff that you're doing? That is the majority of the panel. And that is huge because everything y'all have said hit right on what empowers you and how you overcome. Because just because you're smart and able doesn't mean that you don't face the unique challenges that everybody else faces. So the majority of our panel are actually first at doing what they do. Now, here's the key thing I want you to share with those that are with us today. How many of y'all made the money you wanted to make right out the gate? No hands. The struggle was real for some of y'all. I want you to share how you place finances versus doing what you choose and you want to do. Because I think sometimes people give up on certain jobs and certain fields, or they think because you're a business owner, or they think because you guys have MD behind your name, or you're a mechanical engineer, you're a police officer, that you walk. She works in accounting and IT. That you walk out of school making six figures. Is that realistic for everybody on the panel? So it had to be something other than money that motivated you. So share what kind of brings you to that spot of, and how did you deal with the finances, and were you? I'm an attorney. I got about 5 questions in one. Let me slow down. Got way too excited. Oh, Lord. The people ain't going to know what to answer. Okay. Back up. What did you make what you expected to make, even starting out in your individual fields? And if not, how did you weather that time?
I definitely made the money that I thought I should have been making starting out. I graduated college and got into IT, like customer service wise, like, Geek Squad, tech support, all that. I wasn't making no money. I know I got on my mom and my grandma nerves with that, but I did the best that I could. I was a very giving person. Now, segueing on into policing, I still wasn't making no money when I started that. It took a while for me to start making decent money as a police officer. And I had to learn how to, I may not be able to do everything that I want to do right then. I may not be able to buy the latest this or have the latest that, but as long as I had a roof over my head and food in my stomach, I was going to be fine. I don't got to do anything else. Now, I probably splurge a little too much, but because I believe, life is short. So now that I'm further, I've been on the police department for 9 years now. So I'm making some money. I'm comfortable. And I'm more at the moment now, whereas I sacrificed before, where I couldn't do so much before. I do it all now. Like, I'm going on a trip. I'm, buying this and that. I mean, I'm still not like materialistic like that, but I'm still gonna buy what I want. Like, I'm gonna buy what I want. I'm gonna go on vacation. But I had to tell myself back then, just because I couldn't do it back then, it was a sacrifice to get to where I am right now. So you just have to look back at your challenges. I had some challenges with some money, but like I said, we're able to make moves now, and it took about 9 years, but we here. So that's what I did.
I think both of us, because we're at different places, and so it's kind of it's interesting. So people think when you have MD behind your name, you graduate from medical school, you get that MD, oh, here come big money. As you go into residency, and you, with the number of hours that we work, averaging over 80 hours a week, by the time you divide that out by what we get paid, you making pretty much minimum wage. Sometimes less than that if you working like more than 80 hours. But I think the benefit of that is it kind of teaches you to be smart with your money, because with my family, my parents didn't teach me a lot about finances. I learned how to balance a checkbook, stuff like that. But in terms of saving money, investing, different things like that, no idea. And so you go from being a low earner with high level of debt because we have student loans, but then you get cast blast off into this huge amount of income. I just signed my contract that I'll be starting for the job I'll be starting in August, and it's quadruple of what I make. Thank you, Jesus. It's amazing, but that's a huge jump in income. And so trying to learn how to be smart with your money, not get caught up in the material things like Aerica said, but still treating yourself, enjoying, going traveling, saving for those trips, saving for that bag you want, or just whatever. If you want to go get facials once a month or something like that, just to treat yourself for your hard work, I think you can do that, but you have to budget for it, and you have to allot for it. And so that's kind of in this time in between getting to the real money versus making some money. That's what I'm learning. And so I think that's important.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask you a question before I give you the mic.
Go ahead.
Because I was going to give you my next question anyway. Okay, since Ms. Harrell is a entrepreneur, I want you to share with us the specifics of what that road has been like as you answer this question about the money.
Okay, so you just want me to tell my whole story. Just go ahead. Okay, go ahead, because I was waiting anyway. I'm like, oh, yeah. Okay, so how many of y'all know right now, like, what you want to do, you got a plan, and you just know that's what you want to do? Like, how many of you know already exactly what you want to do? You do? You do? Okay. That is great. That is great. And I did too. I am completely doing something totally different than what I would have swore to you I would be doing right now. So when I graduated high school, I went to Albany State University. I told myself I want to be a guidance counselor. I want to counsel middle school girls. I want to help. I want to be able to, talk to them and just inspire them. I want them to feel like they got somebody they can come to. I don't know. Do you guys know Mr. Holloman? He was my guidance counselor at jail Newbern. And when I tell y'all I love that man, oh my gosh, like I would literally go in his office just for any reason, just to sit and just talk. And it was literally that moment I said, I want to do what he does. Like he was like a dad. I had a dad, but he was just a dad outside of my dad, and I said, that's what I want to do. I want to be that person for, young girls. But anyway, so fast forward, I go to Albany State. I told y'all I was going to be honest. So I had this boyfriend from high school that I had been with, and should have stayed my butt at Albany State, but I'm coming home on the weekends, I'm visiting, and I ended up getting pregnant. And I was devastated. My family was, what are you going to do now? If I get emotional, y'all just, yeah. And I'll get into why I'm emotional, but my family's like, well, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? You got to come home now. And when I graduated high school, that was the biggest thing. You didn't want to be that one that had to come back. You didn't want to be the one that went to school and, now you're coming back with your tail between your legs, you're pregnant. And that was me. That was me. So I had to ask myself, at this moment, you have a child on the way. And I've always been big on, I'm not asking nobody for nothing. If I get myself in a mess, I got to clean it up. I'm not putting my baby off on my parents, on, anybody. This is my child. So I had to make the decision. Are you going to try to go to school, or are you going to get you a job? You got to take care of your child. What are you going to do? And I made the decision to find me a job. I think I started at Converges is what it was called then. I started there. Thank you. I started there, and I hated it. Oh, my gosh. I really believe my anxiety started with that job. I would make it to work on time and clock in late because I'm sitting in the car like, I do not want to go in here. But, I knew this is what you got to do. You got a baby on the way. So I did that. In the midst of me working there, and I worked a couple other jobs, I've been braiding hair since middle school. I mean, Kirsten can tell you, I'm doing all my friends' hair. It was something I always loved, but it never crossed my mind this is something that you could actually make a career. It wasn't looked at as a real job. Even as time went by and, through middle school, through high school, I'm doing family and friends, and before I know it, I've got people like, well, how much you charge for this? And I'm like, oh, you want to pay me? I think I was doing micro braids for $45 when I first started. And, but it was what I loved to do. And even, when I was in Albany, they knew that's the dorm room right there where you can get your hair braided. I knew when school checks came out, we would Uber to the local hair supply stores. We would get braiding hair, and I'm in my dorm just going, but it never crossed my mind. This is what you like to do, forever. And I did listen to other people. Doing hair is not a job. That's not a job, or that's ghetto. You do hair. You need to go to school. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I literally, for years, I would work a job. I think I worked 2 jobs at one time, and then I would come home and I'm doing hair. But whatever I needed to do to make sure my son, was taken care of. And I kept telling myself, I'm going to go back to school, though. I'm going to go back to school because I do want to be this guidance counselor. And then something else would come up, he may get sick, and then there's doctor's bills, and there's this and that, and you're constantly just putting it off. But one thing that stayed the same was I'm still doing hair. I'm doing hair. I have clients here who have literally, I've done their hair pregnant with him. He's 14 now, my oldest son. I've done their hair pregnant with my son. They've held him for me. And she tells the story. She's like, you're not a real client if you haven't been, praying Qianna's water doesn't break until she finishes your hair. And I mean, it's really true. I have 4 boys now, and I have clients. And that's one thing I get a lot of people that say, they pay more outside of Valdosta. You can make more money if you move. Valdosta and the people and my loyal clients here made me who I am. And they're still here with me. They're still, 14 years strong. And I'm only 33. 14 years, 15 years strong. These clients have been with me. And as long as they're here with me, I'm here with them. You know what I mean? And if in the future, if so be it, I decide to open somewhere outside of Valdosta, I know I want to be here. You know, this is, and to the financial part, that was one thing that kept me going. The love of the people here. When it got hard, you know, when, you know, I'm doing hair at home until I could afford to go out, you know, they didn't care. They were coming, you know, we just had that bond. They knew my love for what I do, and they felt it, and they stuck with me. So, so after, you know, I'm working these jobs, and, you know, I'm realizing, you know, I'm still doing hair, and I got pregnant with my second son, and I'm beating myself up. I still haven't gone to school. I have people who I went to Albany State with who are now getting their masters, and I still haven't, you know, finished my bachelor's. And it will really depress you. It will really, like, have you feeling like you might as well give up, because you're looking at everybody else and they're successful, and you're still back here. I'm still working at Converges and, you know, Subway, and I'm doing hair at home when I get home, and I'm just feeling like, how did I get left behind? You know, how did I make bad decisions and end up in this situation? And so my 2015, I had my 14-year-old, I had my 7-year-old, who was 1 at the time, and I was pregnant again with a set of twins. And I mean, that really had me like, oh my gosh, I'm going from 2 kids to 4 kids now. What am I going to do? You know, we're making ends meet, you know, everything is okay, but that's a big jump from 2 kids to 4 kids. And I knew, I'm like, okay, Qianna, you're settling, really. You can do more than this. You can do more. You just got to figure out what it is, you know, that you're not doing. What is it that you love to do? And stop telling yourself, oh, it's too late. You messed up. You know, you got to figure it out. Well, as soon as I felt like I had it figured out, I went and worked in my cousin's hair salon. I don't know if you guys know Michelle Brown. I went and worked in her hair salon for a while, and I said, okay, if I can pay her booth rent and I'm still comfortable, let's see how this goes. Let's see if I can rent a booth from her. I'll pay her, you know, the amount I have to pay her. Let's see if I can do that and still, you know, take care of my kids and take care of my household. So that's what I did for a while. Everything was going great, and I'm like, okay, I think maybe I could do this on my own. I think maybe I could open up, and this is what I tell other people. It looks so pretty, guys. You think, okay, I'm going to get me a building. I'm going to go get my business license. I'm going to get a few people to work with me. They'll pay me booth rent, and that'll pay my bills, you know, and that's what you feel like is going to happen. So that's what I had my mind set on. I'm going to save up. I'm going to get me a building. That's what I'm going to do. Well, right before I was able to actually start putting it into works, my mom passed away unexpectedly. She had a heart attack in her sleep. And I was pregnant with my twins, and my mom was my rock. Like, she would literally, like, push me and encourage me. And she's like, you're a great mom. To the 2 you have, you're going to be even better. To the 4, you know, you got it, girl. And I literally, guys, I buried my mom and had my twins the day after her funeral. But that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I asked myself, okay, Qianna, what you gonna do now? You know, I'm sitting here. I got my 2 bigger boys, and then I'm holding my twins in my hand, and I'm like, you know, what are you gonna do? Thank you. I'm like, what are you gonna do now?
it's her birthday month, guys. That's why I'm just so like overly emotional today. But I'm like, what are you gonna do, Qianna? You know, you got these babies looking at you, and you know what are you gonna do? You can't. This can't be it. You can't. I wanted to just like lay in my bed and just never get up, and I'm like, you can't do it. You know, you got these babies looking at you. What are you gonna do? And I said, I'm gonna do what she would want me to do. She would want me to keep pushing. She would want me to, you know, do what I said I was going to do. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't have the resources now that are available. I didn't know about grants. I didn't know about funds they have available. I literally, guys, saved money myself and found a building, and I, literally money out of my pocket, went and found a space that I felt like I could afford. It was small, but it was good for me. I had stylists who wanted to come in and, you know, were happy to work with me, and they were like, you know, hey, if you're rocking, we're rolling, let's do it. You know, we think this can be great. And that's literally, I started with, I think it was 3 stylists and myself. We started, it's 7 years ago we started. And I mean, with prayer and my baby's faces, we just kept it pushing. We kept it pushing. And I've learned so much now from other business owners that I wish I had known back then, and it probably would have made it a lot easier. But at the same time, the struggle, I feel like it made it so much more worth it. You know, it's literally like with every obstacle, with everything that, you know, could have went wrong, that did, with all my bad decisions. And that's what I wanted to come to say today. I did the same thing when I was asked to be here today. I saw everybody on the panel, and I'm like, oh, even though I know these women, you know, they're doctors, you know, like, you know, I can't sit next to them, you know, I have a hair salon. And I said, Qianna, you're doing the same thing again. The same thing you did for so many years, comparing yourself to other people. Everybody's journey is not the same. It's not the same. I could have tried to force myself to do what y'all do, but I wouldn't have liked it. I would not have. And I think you kind of need to like it, you know, but I'm just so happy that, you know, despite everyone saying, doing hair, that's not a job, you know, oh, it's a job. It's a job. And when I tell you, I'm at a point now where I don't have to struggle. My 4 boys are taken care of. They're in sports. We travel. And I just never would have thought I would be at this point today. You know, we're making it. Everybody, they got all their arms and legs. You know, they're all healthy. I'm mentally okay now. But we're doing it. And I just wanted to say today, I'm not ashamed of my story. I'm not ashamed. I made bad decisions. I tell my girls, they come in, they're getting their hair done. I do a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers. They see me, I have tattoos, you know, I got braids. They think I'm cool. Yeah, it's cool. We're going to laugh, but I'm going to tell you some real stuff. I'm going to tell you what to avoid if you can, what decisions. You mess up sometimes, and it's okay. Don't beat yourself up, and it's not the end. But if I can help you avoid, you know, making these decisions or whatever, that's what I want to try to do for my girls. So it turned out I'm doing hair, but I'm still doing what I wanted to do. Yeah. And I love my babies. I love my babies, y'all. They come in, and I'm like, what's wrong? You had a bad day today, and they go to talk. And so I'm still counseling, you know. I'm still talking to them. And in the meantime, when you get up, the thing for me is when they get out of the chair, I mean, they could, and even the little ones. I got 2, 3-year-olds. They come in, and I don't want to get my hair done and this and that. When I get done, y'all, they thank you, Miss Qianna, and they're slinging, and it just makes everything worth it, and I love it. But that's what I wanted to say today. If you make a bad decision, or you stray from your path or your plan, it's okay. It's okay. It might just hold you back a little. It might take you a little longer, but it's definitely not the end. It's not the end.
Now I've done most of the questioning and talking, but we are set up in this room for a reason. Does anyone who is here have any questions for any of the panelists? Remember what I said, no question is too small. Anybody have any questions? Is there anybody? Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't have a question, but I want to tell her, being a hairstylist, it is a ministry also. They were saying about the counseling, because when I go to the salon or I go to some place to get my hair done, it's like I'm at peace. It's like whenever they're doing my hair, I go to sleep. I mean, it's so peaceful. And then, it is because they talk to you and everything. So it is a ministry, so you are doing something. And whenever I think about a profession, is anyone who is doing something, and it doesn't matter where you're doing it, because my dad has always told us that even if you are a ditch digger, you be the best ditch digger that you can be, because someone is always watching you, and there's no little you or no big you. So that's how I look at professions. And whenever you were talking about the doctors and everything like that, it doesn't matter what you are, it's how you feel. And that's a good thing.
I always say success doesn't have a picture. Success is what you make it and who you are. And success happens at every level. Okay, so since y'all don't want to ask no questions, I got a few questions. Okay. Well, go ahead.
I just want anyone on the panel, were you, your motivation, where did it come from? And I know that you shared your story, but was it something inside of you that motivated you to excel, or did you just do what your parents say do? I know what you're trying to do. No. But yeah, what is it that pushed you to be maybe different from the decisions that you made, your career choice? How did you arrive where you are today?
I'm going to start with Lauren. I saw her smile. So, Lauren, you want to say something? Lauren, you want to say something? Can she hear me? She smiled. Lauren, do you want to say something?
have to do that either. Like, I want to be able to make my own decisions, and things are working out or things are not working out for me, either move to the left or to the right. And so I basically talked to my grandma and said, okay, how do I position myself to be able to take care of myself and not have to be in this same situation? So that was really my motivation, was seeing her in that situation and knowing that I did not want the same thing for myself.
Anyone else want to answer that question?
what was our motivation? I think me and Kirsten's motivation was getting out of Frankie's house, not having to hear Frankie mouth. But no, seriously, just my mama. We weren't like hard, but we were hard. Like, I mean, she stayed on us, but you would never be able to tell. When we were growing up, you wouldn't be able to tell we didn't have, but I know she sacrificed a lot for us to have. So my motivation, for me at least, was always, well, I'm going to make my mama proud because, I want her to just be like, I did everything I could so that they don't have to struggle themselves. Like I said, when I came out of college, I didn't make no money. So the motivation at that time was, how are we going to get some money so we don't ask Frankie for no money? So, it's like we got to get it so we ain't got to ask her nothing else and we could be just fine. But I generally, what motivated me was I just wanted to succeed. I didn't, like Qianna, when I did graduate, I'm not doing what I thought I would be doing. And I did look around me. I mean, I got a sister who's a doctor, and I'd be like, my sister's a doctor. Who? And I am a police officer. That is a big difference. And I have to tell myself, stop comparing yourself. But my motivation was, well, she got to go through, in my eyes, she got to go through a lot. I mean, I got to go through a lot, but she has to go through a lot. So she motivated me. So it's like, everybody in some way in my family motivated me to do something different. And then just telling myself, like, you can do these things, whether you think so or not. At the end of the day, my biggest belief is you have to motivate yourself. You have to be your biggest motivator at the end of the day. If you don't motivate yourself, nobody else can do it. You may lean on other things to help you get that little push, but you got to, be the one to jump. So, Frankie, Kirsten, Grandma, those were my motivators. But, y'all know. It's hard. It's really hard. I think that's one of the hardest parts about my job is I could go one place and people love the police. I could literally walk a block over and I'm getting the middle finger shot at me just because I'm standing there. And basically, because of how the times are right now, people don't look at us in the best light. I just have to tell myself I didn't sign up for this job to be liked. I signed up to make some type of a difference. I know for me growing up, my dad is a police officer, so is my stepmom, but I still didn't see a lot of black women as police officers. And although it's not something that I wanted to be, I did, growing up, looking at my dad, I did like the fact that, he would help children. He would take children into his house that may not have, had stuff growing up. He would be a mentor to these kids. And to me, it was like, well, I want to do that. I want to help people. I don't mind helping people. I could do that for a living. Then I got on here and realized it was very different. But right now, it gets hard. But every day you have to kind of look at it like, if I could reach one person, if I could just help one person, everybody else can shoot me a bird, curse me out. I mean, we get that every day. But if somebody look at me like, you know what, you made this a lot easier than I thought it would be. Or, people that are in domestic situations, you helping them get out of these situations or, saving them from something that could be very drastic. That's what keeps me going with that. Because, like, right now, I understand this climate. We're not looked at in the best light, and everybody kind of puts us in one hole. But I always tell people, well, you want people like me on the department. You want to see a face like mine on the department where, in the news you see these other faces. You don't really see, these black faces, these black women faces making a difference. So you would want somebody on the inside that understands the struggle of being a black person or even black woman, black man. You want us so that we can identify a struggle and we're not so quick to move like some are. we're more here to help. So some people get it, but you know, it's tough, but I do it with a smile on my face when I have to, and I just take the punches.
Well, thank y'all for sharing your motivation. Okay, so this is interactive. So for those of you that know, how many of you already know exactly what type of career field that you are interested in at this point? So we got here. All right, got you. Okay. You're the young man there. Anybody else over at that table? Okay, so we have a few. So I want to, where else? Right here. Okay. So I want to go around a little bit, if you're willing to talk to me. Find out from you what are your concerns or your motivations for some of the things you want to do. Can I start with you? Tell us what you want to do.
I want to become a pediatrician.
Okay. Oh, what? Pediatrician. So you have a personal connect. What are some of your motivations for wanting to become a pediatrician?
Well, I like children, and I like helping people and stuff like that.
Okay, so your passion. So just like what we've been hearing, your passion connects, and you got a pediatrician to talk to today. Who else had, young man, you had your hand up, right? Tell me what you want to do.
Do you want me to stand up or?
Whatever's comfortable for you.
Okay, I want to become a JAG officer in the military.
So what's your motivation? What are your concerns about becoming the JAG officer?
Well, I decided that I want to go into law because I believe there's a lot of injustices in the system. Plus, I'm a cadet, so for the last 2 years, I've been doing trainings, and that pushed me that I've come this far, you know. Might as well keep going.
Right. And I'm a lawyer from all the way on the panel, but we'll talk later.
Hello. I want to be. Oh, can you guys hear me now? Okay. I want to become an esthetician, which, if you guys don't know what that is, that's dealing with the skin and skincare. My motivation will have to be my mom for sure, and just what I've been through, and then my concerns. I'm not gonna lie, it is failing. I kind of struggle with knowing that I might be struggling with my business and how I will be able to handle that and overcome it. So
did you hear Qianna's story and her
yeah,
road? Did that help you?
It did.
Great,
It did.
Great.
Yeah.
I know I want to be an entrepreneur of some type. I was thinking about going into business management and minoring in real estate, and motivation is knowing that I'm working for myself, and you know, I don't have to work for nobody else.
For starters, I started out wanting to be a pediatric travel nurse, but to reach on a bigger goal, I ended up wanting to be a pediatrician or a general family physician. And my motivation is that I'm a science nerd. I enjoy reading about the body and helping people feel better. And I'm also like the social butterfly. So I like to connect with people and to make people feel better and to like actually make an impact, to make them seem like the world is a better place, you know?
So if I was in the church, I'd say, look at God. All these people are in the right place at the right time.
She was like, oh, man.
I want to be an OBGYN because I love babies. Like, I just want to deliver your baby and help care for your baby. Like, I don't know.
Good. So we have a lot of people here who can benefit. Now that you've heard other people speak from the audience, does anybody else have any other questions, or does anyone else want to share where they are? If you don't know what you want to do, does anyone want to share their passion? Because one thing we've heard today is a lot of what we end up doing comes from our passion. So is there anyone, I'm not sure, I got 5 things I want to do, but you want to share what your passion is? Anybody? I can say something. Okay, go ahead.
So, that was loud. So, one thing I wanted to say is don't think that you have to just stick to one thing. Like I said, I started out with IT. I have, I still do that, and I'm a police officer, but I also have a cake business on the side. It ain't popping like that, but, I sell cakes. I make favorite pound cakes, and I started that because I was stressed out at work, and baking helps me to relieve my stress, and people like cake. So don't think that you gotta do one thing and that's what you gotta stick with. You can do multiple things, because even outside of this cake thing, my next venture is fitness. So you can, you have multiple sides, and you can touch every side of it. And that was my biggest thing there with that.
So it is so easy. Like you said, you may have multiple things that you want to do, and although you don't end up in the same place, in this day and time, there's not too many people in this day and time, because it's encouraged to have a main hustle and a side hustle. So or several side things. Now, here's the thing. I think one of the things, and then I'm going to have room for at least one more question. I think the thing that I heard most is not your passion, pursuing your passion, not being worried about what someone else is doing. And y'all, I didn't grow up in the social media age. It's even worse with you guys, because there's always somebody 50% of the time fronting on social media, because it's so easy to do that. So, and then everybody here has a story. It wasn't always necessarily easy. I was tickled, Ashanti. I take it you did what your mama said to do. So, yeah. But we have time for one more question, because we do want, in talking about all this passion and this pursuit, we have a break where you all can work on vision boards. Is there anybody who has a question or wants to say something to any of the panelists? Okay.
Okay, so like how we talked about the balance between like the things for social purposes and the things for like actual working towards your career and your goals. I do all these things in high school. Like for social things, I'm a dancer. Then I do varsity cheer, and then like for leadership, I do student council and hosting and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, does that stuff actually like appeal to admissions counselors? And like once you get in college, do the things that you do help appeal to?
Yes, that was a wonderful question, Raylan. That's my cousin, by the way. Yes. So we already be getting some inside stuff. So yes, I think for any admissions committee, whether it's college, medical school, what they want to see is that you're well-rounded. And so it's amazing to be smart and to have, great grades, but really the better applicant is somebody who their grades might not be a 4 or 0, but you are active in other like sports or cheer or dance or student council. You're volunteering in the community. They like to see that you ultimately, because you're going to be a pediatrician or a doctor. And so, yes, you need to be smart. You need to know what you're doing, but you need to be able to talk to your patients. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to be relatable. And so doing all of those things kind of helps to build that and makes you more well-rounded, but also helps you to learn how to do other things and kind of juggle different responsibilities and get into time management, because as a physician, you're going to have multiple hats and carry multiple responsibilities. And so all of those things kind of help to build you into what you ultimately will become. And so, yes, it's great that you do those things.
Any follow-up to that question?
Just to piggyback off what Amber just said, I think balance is by far the most important thing you can learn in time management, which you mentioned earlier. The sooner you learn it, the better. And I do think starting off in high school with multiple activities, a very, very good social life, and also maintaining your grades. The earlier you learn to do all of that, the better off you're going to be. In college, I laugh a lot. Lauren and I on the screen, we would literally have study hall. We would go to classes. We would have our own study hall. We would meet in one dorm room, get our work done, and then we would literally leave from there, change clothes, and go to a party. It was all about balance. And the student, in doing so, we were able to do everything we wanted to do. We had great grades. We went to whatever we wanted to do. We were part of organizations, and we still had a very good social life. And on one of my medical school interviews, the interviewer looked through my application and added up all the hours that I spent doing things. The hours I spent in class, the hours I spent with my part-time job, the hours I spent in extracurricular activities. And if you're doing what you love and you're excited and you manage your time, you don't think about it. And he was in shock. He was like, when do you sleep? And I laughed. I was like, oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I guess I go to sleep, I wake up, and I keep doing it. But then in medical school, I began to meet so many people who never learned that balance. They had great grades. They focused on grades. They focused on being in the top organizations and building their resume, but not balancing social life or one or the other. They never had to have a job. They never had to do other things. And they really struggled with finding that balance in medical school and then now as in their career. And so I think the earlier you learn to manage your time and also balance the things you're passionate about as well, the more successful you're going to be.
I had a question for Qianna. How did you handle everything with like losing your mom and then you had your twins? Like, how did you keep going? Like, how did you like basically not give up?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, the motivation for me was my boys and my mom. I mean, I tell myself, if my mom was still here and I still had that crutch, would I even be, where I am? And I mean, I would like to say, yeah, but I think it motivated me even more, losing her. And I've always been big on, I gotta do better. I gotta do better. And so when that happened, I felt like it was expected for me to just, fall into depression, and people will say, well, it's okay, you're going through a lot. It's okay. Take your time. You got to grieve. But in my head, I'm just like, yeah, I know I do, but I can't just stay in it. I can't. You see people, I mean, mental illness is so real. Like, it's so real. I don't think it's talked about enough. I think in our community is people try to say mental illness is an excuse. For someone to come out and say, I couldn't get it done today because I just been depressed, or you're just being lazy. No, it's really real. And that's a battle that you can get counseling, you can get help, you can talk to friends, you can talk to family, but you really got to dig inside of you and tell yourself, I got to get out of this. And I knew my mom would want me to. I knew she would want me to.
We give our panelists a wonderful hand. One thing about knowledge, it's power, it's information. You may not use it today, but 10 days, 10 years, 5 years, 5 weeks from now, you will remember everything that was said here today. So we are going to transition into our vision board, and Dr. Lena Foster is going to give us some further direction.
First of all, before we go into the vision board, let's give our panel another hand. Thank you all for your vision today, and it is appropriate because now trying to go into our vision board, exactly what is a vision board? Each one of you all had to have a vision. in order for you to be where you are today. And a lot of us, they are just coming out with the vision board, and a lot of us don't understand exactly what it is. But a vision board is a collage of images and words to remind you why you do what you do every day. What are your values? What are your goals? And are your dreams? What you inspire to do? What are your short-term and your long-term goals? And how do you hope to get there? There's a purpose for a vision board. And a lot of us don't think about this, but think about it today, those of you. There are 10 things. 1, what motivates you? We've talked about that. Because we dig deep. This comes with our self-care and our mental health, as you all have talked about. And as African Americans, that has been something that we don't focus on because we've been told, it doesn't exist. And when we are younger, we've had people to tell us, that's just like if if a young person say, my back's hurting, you don't have a back. Okay? But again, you have to look deep. It is for you to de-stress. As again, you all have talked about, the panel has talked about this. 3, you have to be creative and have fun. Whenever you're thinking about what you want to do, because this board is all about you. Number 4, figure out your goals. We're not trying to see what someone else wants to do or what makes someone else happy. What makes you happy? And I think a lot of times when we are trying to figure out what we want to do, it's not exactly what we want to do, it's what someone else has told us to do. Or because my mama has done it, or someone has done it, I want to do it because of. No, it's what you're going to want to do and what you can live with, and you can look in the mirror every day and be proud of yourself doing. And as I've said, no matter what it is, if that's what you want to do and you can make an honest living of it, that is you. Number 5, reassess what you, Y-O-U, want. Number 6, remind yourself of where you want to be. Where do I want to be in 3 months? Where do I want to be tomorrow? Where do I want to be next year at this time? You have to set those goals and be honest and true to yourself. Number 7, build and grow. No matter what happens, you can't stay the same. You shouldn't be the same person today as you were last year this time. You want to better yourself, and you want to feel good about yourself. Number 8, get over your limitations. Just because you aren't the best person, artist, that's okay. If you set your mind to it, say, well, I may not can draw that well, but I can do the best that I can. Or if I use the computer to try to do whatever it is to improve yourself, do it. And just like today, we have these panels. We have people who are all around who want to see you be successful. Ask for help, okay? Number 9, condense your thoughts, okay? You can't, as we've talked about, and as Attorney Walker started out asking you, are you where you were, or you made the money when you first started as you do today? You can't start out making $100,000 and you're not skilled doing that. Okay, just like she said, she's been doing hair since she was 13 years old or before. She wasn't expert at 13. And then number 10, save money. What that is that a vision board is cost effective. Because if you can put your thoughts down on paper, then you're going to reach your goal. So a vision board is very, very important. We were supposed to have from 10:30 to 11 to work on our vision board. We're going to have a few minutes, and we're going to be having snacks, I think, or whatever. The vision board, and then we're going to do some other things in between. But this is to give you a little bit of time to, again, de-stress, think about you and what makes you happy. And if you want to talk to the panelists while you're doing that, they're available. We appreciate you all again for sharing with us, and have a good time doing what you do. And think about, again, you as you're making your vision board. Thank you all for being here with us today.
May I have your attention, please? If you asked a question or gave a comment, could you please stand? If you asked the panelists a question or gave a comment, please stand. All right, if you would head to the table and receive a door prize for participating in the conversation. Okay, we have some more door prizes to give out. I'm going to ask a few questions, and if you fit this question, more than likely you'll get a door prize. All right, raise your hand if you can play a musical instrument. Okay, so what musical instrument do you play? Okay, so she plays a saxophone. Go get your door prize. But she's got a door prize. Okay, now this is going to be a difficult one, maybe. Raise your hand if you do not have a Facebook account. Ah, really? Oh, we got 2 people. 3? Really? I'm surprised y'all young people don't have. Y'all, what y'all do? Instagram now? Snapchat? Okay, so for, what was it, 3 of you that did not have a Facebook account? Go get you a door prize. Yeah, I guess they moved on. We want still stuck with Facebook account. Right. Hey, IG and Snapchat, you put something on there? She's doing a little better. Yeah, just kick it. She don't like it. She was weird. Yeah. She could be all right. We know who can do it. Right. Okay. Raise your hand if you have your own business right now. Oh, there's 2 hands right there. All right. Go get you a door prize. Can you come up here first and let us know what business that you have? Now, if you already have a door prize, we want to make sure everybody gets something. Okay, if everybody look up here, she has a clothing line, and this is one of her shirts that she does. Stand out there, girl, so we can see that shirt. I'm a T-shirt person. So this is her clothing line. Now, what is this? Exotic culture? Okay. So this is her clothing line that she has. So y'all look her up. Very good. What's your name?
Caitlin Connolly.
Caitlin Connor. Very good. Okay. And what business do you have?
I have a bottle business. What now? A bottle business.
A bottle business? So what does that do?
I make bottles.
Oh, she makes bottles, like decorative bottles. Oh, okay. Tell us your name.
Janiyah Alford.
Janiyah Alford. All right. Very good.
I make press-on nails, and I have a family business that makes shea butter. My name's Raina Screen.
All right, awesome. So they've already started their businesses. Great job. Well, yeah. Okay, so if you've already got a gift, just make sure you only get one so we can make sure everybody gets something. Okay, so we'll do some more later.
Hello? So while you all keep working on your vision boards, we're going to go ahead and move to the next segment so we can eat on time. So the next segment is awesome because Qianna was up talking and she just really led us into our next segment, which is on mental awareness. So we're going to get that power that up on the PowerPoint, and then Miss Shondra Holmes, who's a licensed therapist, she's going to talk to us about mental awareness in this environment. Hold on.
Okay, everyone, we're moving forward. Thank you for participating in our vision board segment. At this time, if everyone can take their seats, please. We are so happy to have with us Shondra Holmes, who is a licensed social worker therapist. Shondra is a native of Valdosta and a licensed clinical social worker. She works as a therapist with Kids Health Valdosta and Northside Family Health. She graduated from Valdosta State University with a bachelor's in sociology and anthropology and earned her master's in social work in 2013. She has experience in providing individual and group psychotherapy in various areas, including substance use, mental health, and children and adolescents within the school system. So please help me welcome for our mental health awareness segment, Ms. Shondra Holmes.
Hello, hello. So listen, let me just start off by saying that I am not one who talks in front of a lot of people. So I consider this to be a lot. I get a little anxiety, but I need y'all help, okay? Especially my teenagers. I need this to be interactive and engaging. So first of all, also, let me say Happy Social Work Month. I am a licensed clinical social worker. And so the tendency is for many people to think of social workers as baby snatchers, maybe. But as a social worker, we work in an array of different areas. We work in hospice, we work in hospitals, we work in prisons, we work with veterans, children, mental health, substance use, pretty much any major institution. You probably can find a social worker. So happy Social Work Month to all of my social workers. So currently as a social worker, I provide therapy. I'm a therapist at Kids Health and Northside Family. At Kids Health, I work with children, teenagers, adolescents on a variety of different issues, whether it's related to behavioral challenges, emotional difficulties, mental health issues, stress, anxiety, depression, and so I was just having a conversation, and over the past 2 years, we've been seeing an uprise, of course, due to the pandemic, but also I think understanding that as teenagers, you all face your own challenges. It's a really crucial time, a time period where you may feel a lot of pressure, whether it's peer pressure, whether it's related to cultural influences, social media, technology, but then also just development-wise, puberty, hormones. So all of these different things can impact your mental health. But today I want to talk about something that's really relevant, and that is social media. So social media and mental health. How many of you all have social media, or at least is on one social media platform? Now, I know that there was a couple of people that did not have Facebook or something. Okay. So, but everybody in here, I think, pretty much raised their hand. They are on some type of social media platform. So that tells me that that's what is relevant for you all. It's ingrained in our everyday life. How many of you all find yourselves like you wake up you stay up all night on social media, and then you find yourself tired the next day because you've been on social media all night, just scrolling. So we're going to talk about social media and its impact on mental health today. And so I hope that no one leaves here thinking that I am anti-social media. I am not. I'm neither for or against it. I think social media is going to be around for a while, so it's just learning how to navigate it. And then also you all becoming more aware about the impact that it does have on mental health. So I got a little trivia here that I would like for you all to participate in. Okay. So we're having a little technical difficulties. Technology, you gotta live it. All right, we're back in business, y'all. All right, so I got a little bit of trivia here. So I want you all to take a minute, look at the screen, and read this quote. And I'm going to give you some hints. Can you all read that? It says, social media has been the most disgusting place. It makes me question humanity, and not only on celebs, but on other people and situations. I see people here laughing, getting joy of other people's misery, people wishing other people's kids to be taken away from them, lowering people's self-esteem, and what you do it for, likes, retweets, and a couple of followers or comments back. This was a quote that was posted on social media by a Grammy-winning artist. She is married to a rap artist. She is known to be unapologetic, unfiltered. She's got her start on YouTube, and now she is a rap artist. Can anybody tell me, by raising your hand, who you think this may be? All right, let's see. Got a hand over here. Who's that? Who? Queen? No, not quite. Coyle Wright? No. Let's see. Cardi B. Ding, ding, ding. Yes. So Cardi B has talked about some of the impact on her mental health. Most recently, she testified in a court hearing how her mental health was impacted, how she felt suicidal, how she felt depressed because of some allegations that were made about her by this YouTuber. She's been vocal about her mental health issues and challenges, including like her postpartum after she gave birth to her first child. All right, next quote. So in my case, I felt under a great amount of pressure to disclose my symptoms, frankly, because the press and the tournament did not believe me. I do not wish that on anyone, and hope that we can enact measures to protect athletes, especially. I also do not want to have to engage in a scrutiny of my personal medical history ever again. So I ask the press for some level of privacy and empathy next time we meet. So let's use some clues. In there you have athletes. But this is, so you know without me giving any clues. So let's see. Who would you guess made this statement? Say it again.
Naomi Osaka.
Naomi Osaka. Let's see if she's right. You're correct. Good job. Good job. All right. There you go. Next slide, please. All right, so this one, I'm going to skip over a few words because she has some colorful words in here. But she says, yeah, I can't do Twitter anymore. Too many trolls. I'll be back when I feel like it. In another statement, or in another post, she says, I'll be waking up feeling bad. I'll be waking up in my feelings, and I knew that my mental health, my emotional health, and my social health already affects me in positive and negative ways. But you add the internet to it, and the internet will have you depressed. Now, this is an artist. She is, actually, she partnered with Dove Self-Esteem, and she is promoting positive body images because she has been in the press concerning her body image. She's a rapper, a singer. She even plays the flute. Does anybody know who that could be? Lizzo. Good job. So Lizzo is well known to talk about her challenges facing mental health, specifically when it comes to body image. All right, last one, I believe. This quote says, I feel like it's hard, but it's harder being a female athlete because everybody prays for your downfall. and wants you to mess up and all of that stuff. I don't think they take into consideration our mental health, because what we do isn't easy, or else everybody could do it. But also at the end of the day, we're not just athletes or entertainment. We're human too, and we have emotions and feelings and things that we're working through behind the scenes that we don't tell you guys about. And so I just think it's something that people should be more aware of. So this is an American gymnast who, during the 2020 Olympics, she withdrew from the team competition to protect her mental health. She went through something called the twisties, where you're kind of out of awareness of where your body is and your mind is not connected. So let me see. I think I seen you. Simone Biles. Good job. That's it. All right. So what you have here is young, successful females, African American, who have endured some challenges with mental health. Some tied to social media, a lot tied to social media, but also just the internet. They've been vocal about talking about their challenges based on things that have been said about them in the press, the scrutiny, some of the pressure that they face as a result of being in the spotlight. And so what this says to me is that money and fame does not make one immune to mental health challenges. In actuality, it can also these things can make it worse. So this is just an aspect that I want you all to understand, is that mental health is so important, and not just for like everyday folks, but celebrities go through their own set of challenges as well. Next slide. All right, so let's talk about social media. I made a joke just a moment ago how you may wake up and you check your phone. The first thing you check your phone is within the first 5 minutes of you waking up. But let's kind of see a little bit about maybe why we tend to have this attraction to social media. It's not sharing. All right. Well, we're just going to adapt. So we're going to just adjust. All right. So basically this video talks about how our brain is impacted. So for you, this is a crucial time period where you all are developing. Your brain is continuing to develop. But what happens when you add social media in the mix? So as humans, we have this desire to be a part of, to belong, to connect. We need that. We need that like we need air, water. We need that. So in an attempt to connect with people, social media is just the most relevant way that we do that. So when you see that like, or when you get positive feedback, say you post a picture and you get some positive feedback on it, well, something goes off in your brain, and this neurotransmitter is called dopamine. And so when you see a like, or when you see a post that someone has made under your post, a comment, something goes off in your brain, and it's called a feel-good chemical, dopamine. And it continues to go off, and it says, I want more of that. It's just as if I eat a delicious meal, my favorite meal, or if I go shopping and I find a nice handbag and I get excited. There is that feel-good chemical that it produces, and your brain says, I want more of that. I need more of that. So when the dopamine is released, you continue to seek the same feeling, and you crave that, and the thirst for that, it needs to be quenched. So therefore, social media is a way that we get that feel good. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel good when people post things. But also the negative and the unintended consequences of that is that when we don't get that feedback, or when we don't get that comment, or maybe we get a negative comment, that taints our self-esteem. So that's the dangers in social media, is that it can have the impact on you. Especially, I think someone earlier was talking about the comparison, or maybe just feeling like I'm missing out. So when we see other people and what they're doing and where they're going, we kind of have this feeling of, oh man, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? I want to be on vacation. I want to be taking a trip. I want to take a trip. Or you see people make certain accomplishments and you're looking like, man, maybe I'm not where I want to be at in life. And so this is some of the unintended consequences that comes along with the social media. Social media was designed to be addictive. It was engineered. The former president of Facebook was quoted, and I'm just paraphrasing. He said, "We basically exploited the human need to be vulnerable, to connect with people." Now he's left, but this is statements that he has made, that basically social media was to grab you all's time, to grab our time, and to grab our attention. And once they have that, they're locked in. Next slide. So let's talk about maybe some of the effects of social media and how it affects our mental health. So a 2019 study from researchers at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health found that adolescents who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media are more likely to report high levels of internalizing behaviors compared to adolescents who do not use social media at all. How many of you all would say you spend more than 3 hours a day on social media? That's pretty honest. How many would you say you spend less than 3 hours? Okay. So can anybody tell me what internalizing behaviors? What would you guess internalizing behaviors? Anybody take a stab at it? Self-hate. Good. Anything else? Depression. Great. Aggression towards others? Yes, that would be externalizing, but yes, that's one of them. Anxiety. So, these are just some of the negative effects of mental health, on your mental health, as a result of spending a lot of time on social media. There's no way that you can spend that much time doing something and it not affect you, that it has no impact on you. Anxiety. A lot of people struggle with anxiety, but then also the thing is that when you connect with people, it's meant to be a place to connect. However, when you become so focused, your primary focus is on connecting to a device, but with people through the device, that sometimes it can create anxiety when I'm in social events like this and I have to interact, because I'm so focused on my phone and that's how I connect with people, through my phone. But when I get in social settings, it can be uncomfortable. It can be anxiety provoking. So depression, again, goes back to comparing. Maybe I look at certain things on social media and it causes me to struggle and feel down, feel low about myself. And that kind of ties into the negative self-image, you know, especially one of the things, not only do other people do it in terms of, well, we call it cyberbullying, but trolling. Trolling is one of those things where people tend to say things about you, but then it's also when I compare myself to people on social media, I tend to struggle with the negative self-image because I'm constantly comparing my, maybe my abilities, maybe my accomplishments, maybe my appearance. So that perfect photo that I just seen of a friend, maybe I'm looking like, I shouldn't post this photo. I don't like it. Because we're trying to get that perfect photo, right? The post. And then when we post that perfect photo, I need everybody to like it, and I'm trying to check the comments. And I want to see what people have to say. And even if I have 100 positive comments, guess what? That one negative one, I tend to focus on, and I go straight there, and it eats at me. So the depression and negative self-image. Now, loneliness. Loneliness is a complex one because you think that we use social media to connect with people. So how could I possibly feel lonely if I'm connecting with people on social media? Well, again, this goes back to loneliness can be a state of mind. I could be surrounded by a group of people and still feel lonely and not feel connected. So social media is a place where, yes, we have been able to do some amazing things like connect with people across the world, but also you can still struggle with loneliness because it lacks a true, real connection as if we were face to face. Suicidal thoughts. You guys, this has been one of the challenges of working in this field is watching young people struggle with suicidal ideations. The tendency is that some people, adults tend to think that what could possibly be going on in a teenager's life that they would want to contemplate taking their life. And there are a lot of challenges with young people, a lot of pressure to be perfect, to belong, facing a lot of challenges that some adults just maybe really don't understand. Self-esteem issues, just an array of different issues. So suicidal thoughts and suicidal ideations have increased. The research is showing that it's off like it's never been more relevant now than in decades. That teenagers and adolescents struggle with this and what they've associated with. And it's not to say that social media causes this, but there's a strong link with the rate of suicides going up and suicidal thoughts going up, equated with the time period that social media came into existence and continues to evolve. So there's a strong link between the two, but that's not to say social media is the causation of it. But these are just some of the things, and this is not an all-inclusive list. This is just some of the mental health symptoms that some young people have been experiencing. All right. So I just want you all to be aware. This is just to bring to your awareness because, again, I think social media is here to stay. So I want you all to evaluate and look for yourselves, your relationship with social media. Some of the things you may want to ask yourself is, am I seeing posts that make me unhappy? Because a lot of times we tend to, without even knowing it or realizing it, you can just scroll and you can see nothing but negativity. And because we're so used to it, it's like we just continue to, but it impacts us. So am I constantly watching posts that make me unhappy? Do I follow accounts that make me feel like I need to be someone that I'm just not? How about, am I comparing my life, my body, success with others? Is the way I'm using social media affecting my health negatively? These are just some of the things that maybe you can ask yourself. Again, you all are teenagers. You all are moving to a space where you're growing more independence. Independence from your parents. You're gaining more responsibilities, adult-like responsibilities. Maybe you're becoming independent in your thinking, your beliefs, what's important to you. So this is for you to gain that awareness, but then also for you to ask yourself that self-awareness is important and critical for you when you're making decisions for yourself. So now that I've bashed social media, and let me just say this, I am on one social media platform, that's Snapchat. I've never had Twitter. I never had Instagram. I had Facebook back in 2012. I can't believe it's been a decade. But I dropped Facebook in the middle of my social work program. And it was because at that time I realized that it was consuming a lot of my time. I went to VSU, graduated from the social work program at VSU, and it was a rigorous program, but I was being really unproductive, not getting stuff done because I was on Facebook. And I could have been like knocked out a paper or did something, but before you know it, I'm scrolling. And I done landed on my grandma, cousin's, uncle, friend's page, and I had no intention. I just went on there and was looking. And so I said, you know what? Let me just drop this. My intent was to drop it temporarily, just to stop it until I got done with my social work program. But I graduated in 2013, and guess what? By the time I graduated, I realized, you know what? I made it a year. I didn't miss it. I think I'm okay. Now, let me give you a disclaimer. I've grown up in a time period where they didn't have social media, and now they have it. So really, for me, it wasn't a big thing. I think that many of you all probably are growing at a time where social media was it. Like, that's all you know. But I wasn't drawn to it. So, mental wellness, awareness. Recognizing unhealthy habits or patterns that you may have with social media. Whether it's negative posts, whether it's you looking at stuff that may be just unhealthy for you. Spending a lot of time on social media, hours and hours where you could be doing other things, like sleeping, like doing your schoolwork, those things, just for you to have awareness. Number 2 is to connect. We need connection. Again, we long to belong. We connect with people. Again, that's important to us. We have a human need to fulfill that. But evaluate your relationships in person. I would say is to connect with those people in real life, in real time. That's important for you. Build those relationships. Because once you start spending a lot of time on the phone, and that becomes your comfort zone, and that's a way to connect, but you also can struggle with those real life connections when you're socially interacting with people. It can make it really difficult. Boundaries. Healthy social media boundaries. So that means that not only are you watching out for what you take in, because what we consume into our brains affects our mental health, but I want you to know too, boundaries mean what you post and what you put out there. Now, you can delete it off your phone, but it's on there. And once it's on there, it's out there forever. I have seen young girls that thirst for validation, that they're seeking validation. They're seeking it through social media. They're seeking it through the internet. And in a way to quench that thirst, they post certain pictures that may be risque, that may be revealing, that may be exposing videos. And the results have been devastating because it lands in somebody's hands and they take advantage of it. They use it to manipulate. And so I want you to be mindful of the things that you're posting on social media. Ask yourself, is this something that if I post this, what would I think about somebody else who posted this? Or what would my parents think about if I posted it? So the same way you look at those things that you're taking in, you also want to be careful about what perception and what image you're putting out there. Another thing, too, I want to add is that a lot of employers are looking at your social media when they hire you. Again, like I said, like I grew up in a time where when I got my first job, we just talked and interviewed. But now they're checking social media's platforms. And if you have things on your site or on your Facebook page or on your Instagram, and I'm not saying that it's right and it's fair, but they are using that to determine whether you're hireable. So not just being careful about those things that you take in, but also those things that you put out there. And then ultimately, the last one I say is seek professional help. You know, we have broke down some barriers with mental health, but we have a lot of barriers to break down especially within our community when it comes to mental health. I long for the day that mental health gets the treatment that physical health does. Mental health is something that overall, there's no way you can navigate this life and not have its challenges. You all just heard from this panel. People talking about the challenges that they face in life. And so definitely, I think that we need to normalize seeking help for mental health. There is absolutely nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. Absolutely nothing wrong. So you're not always going to be okay, but when you're not, and when you feel like you want to give up or you're having a hard time, that's when it may be time to talk to somebody, and that can help. A therapist, social worker as myself, professional counselor, MFTs, but seek professional help. And maybe that may be the counselor at your school as well. School social workers, they have those. So seeking professional help and getting that help that you need most certainly is important. I want you all to know that. It's okay. It's okay not to be okay. In these times, we've been dealing with a lot. And you all are facing a lot of challenges that I myself even can't understand. But all I know is that you have people here who can help you and who can support you through those challenges. All right. Any questions? Oh, yes. Yes. So digital cleansing, digital detox. Yeah, whatever you want to call it, yes. I certainly would say that it would benefit for you to take a little time. Again, the awareness. How about they have this thing on your phone. If you have the iPhone, I know they have a setting that gives you a weekly update of how much time you done spent on y'all ever get those? And I look at my week and I'm like, gosh, I spent a lot of time on this phone. That brought some things to my awareness that I didn't even realize because we're so used to doing it. That's one of the ways to look at how much time, having that awareness, but then also evaluating like, what else could I be doing with this time? Like if I spend 2-3 hours and I know that I have work that I need to be done, like I could have did that. And it may be helpful for you. Again, that's for you to determine whether or not you want to take some time off. But try it and see how it works. And maybe you even start off like just with one day. Let me just try let me get through one day. Some people, I mean, it's hard. I've heard that people check it between up to 150 times per day. People check their phones. And so, but maybe doing that, but also distressors. I would say exercise is a great stress reliever, a stress melter. So getting active. You all are young. Get out there, get active, get outside. Get outside. The weather is getting ready to change. Get outside, exercise, get moving. Whatever it is, get involved in sports, get involved in some type of hobby, interest. That's number one that I always tell people, is that we can find natural ways to do things and to make us feel better. Exercise releases those endorphins in our brain, and it makes us feel good. So exercise is a great stress reliever. Good question, by the way. Anybody else? Listen, I know it can be hard for people to open up and want to talk about mental health, but I'm here. So if you want to talk to me privately, I'm open. So you just come to me, talk to me, anybody, okay? All right, thank y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Holmes, for that wonderful presentation and bringing us to a place of awareness. I think the best thing, one of the greatest things she said, it's okay not to be okay, but it's time to make sure that we can open up ourselves. I mean, I think you talked about mental health and all those different things and opening up ourselves. In addition to what we've heard today from Ms. Holmes, we also want you to be mentally safe as well as physically safe. So we have Ms. Aerica Sauls that's going to come today and give us a staying safe briefing.
Hey y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this quick, but I'm gonna tie something into the mental health thing, and it then ties into the safety thing. I know a lot of you are between the ages of 15 and 25. Last year around this time, I was working an extra job, and I was involved in a situation that started off with a huge fight of about 100 kids about y'all's age. And about a good 10 of them was beating on this one girl. And it was just me. I was the only officer. I don't know where all these kids came from, but I don't know where their parents was, because it was about 10 o'clock at night, but you got 100 kids and they're all fighting, and only me to separate all of these 100 kids. So I break up the fight. Luckily, everybody dispersed, but it been about 5 minutes later, all I hear is gunshots. And unfortunately, it was 3 kids shot, 1 died. And that not only affected me mentally, I mean, it was a lot, because it was just me. I'm having to attend to a kid with a gunshot wound to her leg, a kid that is, unfortunately, she died, and another one who's got a gunshot wound to his hip. I say all that to say that really affected me mentally, because who do you talk to seeing stuff like that? I mean, we have counselors, we have EAP and stuff like that, but sometimes it gets hard. And because for me, it was looking at all of you, these are children, and I'm trying to figure out, A, why y'all out so late, but not only that, but it's why are y'all fighting? And all of it started over something over social media. So, just be mindful. Sometimes you guys need to take that break and not take, I want to say don't take social media so seriously, but I get it. I'm on social media too. I see it. I feel the same effects. And, that, like I said, I'm about to tie into safety. It's a big thing with safety. You guys need to be aware of your surroundings. I see kids, I do school traffic at a middle school, and kids are just always in their phone. Whether they just looking down, not looking at their surroundings, it's so easy for something to happen to you. So the biggest thing about being aware of your surroundings is I want to say to you all, stop looking at the phone. Get off the phone. Put it in your pocket. When you're walking around, whether it be in your neighborhoods, whether it be at the mall, wherever you are, if you're not aware of your surroundings, it's very easy for something to happen to you. And I'm not saying any of this to try to scare you, but these are just things that I see every day amongst kids your age. Whether it be somebody about to run up on you, trying to rob you, trying to fight you, you wouldn't know because you're looking down at your phone. Kind of, take off your earbuds, take them out your ear. I mean, I have one in my ear all the time, most times, not even going to lie. But, if you got both in your ear, there's no way you can even hear what's going on. You got to, be diligent in your own safety if you expect somebody else to be looking out for you. It don't always work like that. And walk with a purpose. When you walking, a lot of people just be walking like this, how y'all be walking on the phone. and y'all ain't looking nowhere. Y'all running in the poles, you running in the tables, running in the cars, running in the people. You need to walk like you know where you going. You got somewhere to go. Next, shut up, Curry. Next one. When you're out and you're with friends or whatnot, one of the biggest things that I do see is you'll have where you're kind of just walking and lollygagging by yourself. Trafficking is real. People will try to snatch you. And I know a lot of y'all are going to college. People will try to snatch you. And again, none of this is to put any like real fear, but just I want you to know that these things happen. It may not happen to you. It may not happen to somebody you know, but they happen. Try to walk with a friend. Try to, don't ever go somewhere where you're by yourself. Going into college, you're probably going to go to parties. Make sure you have a friend with you, a buddy. Don't just be picking up stuff and taking stuff from people. Go to the bathroom. Make sure you take somebody with you. Just so you have an accountability partner with you. I know you going to get home and you know I'm going to get home or whatever. This goes for traveling. This goes for just going to the mall. This goes for anything. I don't know how many of you drive. We have a lot of situations in Atlanta where people, their cars are getting stolen at gas stations. People are getting carjacked when they're walking from the mall to their car because they're not paying no attention to anything like that. This happens a lot around the holidays because that is just that time. They know that y'all got some money, y'all shopping, or for y'all's parents, they know that they got some income tax coming soon. So, it's, car safety. When you're walking, have your keys in your hand. Or at least if you got one of those cars that as soon as you walk up to it, it's, have it in your pocket. When you get in the car, lock your door. And then once you do that, leave. A lot of people sit in cars. I know when I was a kid, sometimes I would go sit in my mama's car, just take a break from everybody in the house. But, you don't want to just sit sometimes because people watch you. They're looking for ways to either, like I said, to rob you, to carjack, whatever. Having an escort walk you to the car, if you work, I know some of you probably have like a little, part-time job working fast food or whatnot. If at all possible, when you work at night especially, see if you can have a manager walk you to your car at night, just to be on the safe side, or have somebody stand there and just, make sure y'all get there, you and a buddy, y'all park in the same spot, y'all walk together at night. Try not to look like you're isolated and alone so much. Yeah, that's right. This is also a big thing. It's a new thing that's kind of popping up. Be mindful. I know we have a lot of different Bluetooth products that we just, we got to have the latest this, the latest that. These air tags and trackers can be put in your car, in your bag, anywhere. And the minute that you take off, that somebody knows exactly where you at. It's and it'll just pop up on the screen and say that, there's an air tag nearby. And if you're not paying attention, you might just be clicking on your phone because you're just scrolling and you just clicked on by it. But, it could locate you and somebody could just pull up to your house right behind you or whatnot. These are things that are, I want to say, we didn't necessarily, I don't want to say we didn't necessarily have to worry about that much when I was going to college, and that wasn't that long ago. But now it's a big thing. Unfortunately, some of us have a good heart and we don't think any harm can come to us because we won't do any harm to anybody. That is not everybody's agenda. And you just really have to, like I said, if you don't take the necessary steps to be aware of your surroundings, be aware of anybody around you or anything like that, then these things can happen to you. As far as self-defense, I am a firm believer in self-defense. I will fight, kick, scream, punch, everything. If anything happens to you, be loud, be vocal. I suggest every female at least carry some pepper spray. Like I said, you all going to college, carry some pepper spray or something, something on you, so that if anything happens, you are able to defend yourself. I know, people seem to think women are small, we don't have as much fight in us, but if somebody comes and they attack you, you scream, you fight, you punch, you do everything to get out of that situation, or at least so that somebody can hear you, so that they can help you get out of that situation. If somebody tries to grab you, you twist your arm up and down and you yell stop and you do anything. I don't care if that means kicking them where it hurts. It doesn't matter, because they was trying to hurt you first. So you do whatever it takes so that you go home, and then you go report that. And you give as much detail. And this is another thing that I want to stress with you, especially as females. Attackers can come in the form of people that you know. And they could come in the form of people that you know just because they might be intoxicated, they might be under the influence. But just because you know them does not mean that you need to save them from what they did to you. Go tell somebody. Go talk to somebody. Go report it to somebody. And if you are scared to do it by yourself, take somebody with you. Always keep your circle of friends, or the people around you, should be people that are worried about your safety just as much as you're worried about theirs. And so that if anything happened, they can't shrug that off and be like, well, girl, he was just drunk. No, he wasn't just drunk, and he going to jail. It's just that simple. So he got to go. So I say all that to say, you guys, I've seen a lot. And I've been on the department for 9 years, and I am very much a person who wants to see young black women see a face like mine, so that they know that they are, they can come talk to me. They can be comfortable to speak to me, and I'm someone they can relate to, and they don't have to, look at me and be like, oh, well, this, police are so bad. No, I'm here to help, and I'm here to help in whatever way is possible. So, like I said, going into the world, just be very aware of your surroundings. Have a emergency contact list in your phone, please. That's a big thing, because if something happened to you, then, I think that what they have it now, where if something happens on your watch, it'll call your emergency contact list. Kirsten has done that like 3 times by accident. But that might be something that you need to have on your phone. Make sure someone knows where you are at all times. I don't care if you at a party and you do decide to go to the bathroom by yourself. Your homegirl better be sitting over there watching that bathroom door as you walk over. She ain't gonna get up. Just make sure that you're doing everything that you can to be aware of your surroundings and to be safe. Because unfortunately, like I said, we may think nothing can happen to us, but unfortunately it does all the time. So do your part, and that's it.
Thank you, Officer Sauls. This has been a great, great day, and we appreciate your attentiveness. You all have been a great group today. Give yourselves a hand. And we want to thank all of our panelists, Ms. Holmes, who told us about mental health, and Officer Sauls, who told us about safety. So to bring this day to somewhat of a conclusion, we're going to take a little lunch break. And after the lunch break, we'll have some closing remarks, and some door prizes will continue to be given away during the lunchtime. So I'm going to say a quick blessing of the food, and then we're going to get everyone organized to get their lunch. God, we thank you for this day that you've blessed us with and all that you've shown us today. Thank you, God, for empowering us today with your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Let us take away what we've heard. Now, God, we ask that you bless the food that is put before us on today. We ask that you let it be safe for the nourishment of our body, and we thank you even now. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, we're going to start with our panelists first. So if the panelists would go get in line. Then after the panelists, I'm going to go this way. I'll have these 2 tables. So these 2 tables can go fall in line after the panelists.